With Bitcoin in the crypto market literally dumping a couple of percent over the last few days, many moon boys were asking themselves, is it really over? Well, the answer is no. In fact, the pump hasn't even begun. And after you watch this video, I promise you'll understand why you will never be bullish enough. So if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe and prepare to watch this video from beginning to end because it's absolutely extremely big what we're about to be getting into. What has been going on with Bitcoin over the last few days? We're below 100K, we're above 100K, we're below, we're above. What's happening? Are altcoins about to absolutely start going higher than a banana on a banana tree? And how bullish should we be? And get signed up with Femex or BITUNIX below if you're interested in longing and becoming a billionaire or losing. And without any further ado, let's completely dump into the price of Bitcoin, where we see right now, again, gravitating right around that $100,000 level. Now, before we actually look at the price, let's take a look at a few pieces of news. So we see that after the CPI report came in today, being in line with estimates at about 2.7%, markets are pricing in a 96% chance of a cut next week, increasing from about 85% just hours ago. So very likely we will see a cut because the CPI was in line with estimates at about 2.7%. And also, I think this is huge. For people that understand politics, Donald Trump is he ties his identity. He measures his success as president in the past with how well the stock market did. And a lot of people inside the administration, and it's also kind of common sense, understand that he's going to tie his success to how well Bitcoin does as well. According to Matthew Siegel on X, Trump is going to be very focused on the price of Bitcoin. It's another stock market for him, adding that he would love for Bitcoin to hit 150,000 early in his presidency. Remember when Bitcoin hit 100,000 for the first time, he had that tweet basically saying like congratulations and you're welcome and stuff like that. I took that kind of as a joke because I personally think Bitcoin is going to hit 100K anyway. However, Donald Trump winning, he was clearly the pro-crypto candidate, and it absolutely hit 100K way quicker than if he would have lost. I personally think that Donald Trump winning the presidency was the absolute bull market, bull mode for crypto times infinity. Definitely the better outcome if you like crypto. And all of this to say basically is I think it's very likely that he's going to tie his identity and his success as a president to he wants to see Bitcoin do well. And we're seeing more, week after week. People were kind of afraid like, oh, what if he just said Bitcoin is important to get elected? But guys, honestly, over the last few weeks, the amount of people, even his sons, everyone around him, there's a lot of pro-Bitcoin talk. And in fact, not only did he not start talking about Bitcoin less once he became the nominee, or once he became the president-elect, and once it was confirmed he's going to be president, they actually started more and more talking about Bitcoin, the importance of Bitcoin. So I personally think, and I'm just kind of leaning towards the side that the more likely outcome is that he is going to take Bitcoin very seriously, and I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. And it's worth keeping in mind that not a single top 50 altcoin from 2021 and 2022 has hit a new all-time high against Bitcoin. And one of the reasons I bring this up is because I don't think we've seen altcoin season at all yet. I think we're going to soon, but I don't think we've seen anything for altcoins yet. We still have yet to see alt season. I think it's going to be huge when we actually do see it. We also see that Bloomberg Intelligence is showing MicroStrategy will be announced as a new member of the NASDAQ 100 this Friday. Basically, expect a net buying of at least $2 billion of shares by ETFs, meaning MicroStrategy is likely to receive a lot of new flows. Which do you believe they will use to continuously buy more and more Bitcoin? Continuing this cycle and pumping the price of Bitcoin? Very likely. This is something people have been talking about as a possibility for a while now. And if this actually ends up happening over the next couple of days and weeks, again, more buying pressure just flooding into Bitcoin. I don't even think we've seen anything yet. We also see leverage in Bitcoin in the Bitcoin market is starting to ease. The Bitcoin USDT futures open interest is down 7% from its peak, while exchange-held USDT balances has surged 32% in a month. If the deposited USDT is for futures trading, more USDT collateral reduces cascade liquidation risks. And if we look at On-Chain College's post here on X, he says Bitcoin is warm, but it's not hot yet. Basically, I don't think we're anywhere close to a top. If we actually zoom in, And we look at the top back when Bitcoin got overheated at the beginning of 2021, and you look at the 0.24 level on the Mayer multiple. Guys, look where we are. I mean, we're not even close. And this is one of a million metrics that's showing us that the bull run is, I mean, even for Bitcoin, like altcoins have barely ran so far. I think altcoins have a lot to go up, but I also think Bitcoin has a lot to go up. I don't think Bitcoin has truly had its, I mean, think about that. Bitcoin at 100K is just the warm up. That's crazy, but it's also what the data is showing us. And we look at TechDev's chart here as well. This is showing the entire cryptocurrency market. This kind of just exactly illustrates exactly what I believe as well. This is the others chart. It's the total market cap excluding the top 10, and it looks like it's about ready to bust. This is a chart similar to what I've been showing over the last couple days, a couple of these charts with the others charts. I think that altcoins are really getting close to initiating, you know, an insanely parabolic leg of this bull run. Now, if we look at the price of Bitcoin, we see also Bitcoin dominance. It's like trying to hold on here, but it looks, I mean, we'll have to see. This is on a 2-week chart. If it ends up getting rejected, so far at this very second, we're below this trend line that goes all the way back to the end of 2022. And on the weekly for Bitcoin, I mean, both of these, okay, so we had a red weekly candle the week of the November 25th, the last week of November. But these last two candles, again, look at them. Look at the big wicks on the bottom, kind of just showing that pressures to the upside. For example, what you usually see when the market is topped out is a candle more like this, where you have a long wick to the upside. And you can kind of see this repeated everywhere. I mean, I'm just zooming back on a weekly chart. See where we topped? What kind of candle was this? Look at the giant wick to the upside. Same thing. Look where we topped here, giant wick to the upside. Look right here. I mean, these examples are just staring us in the face. Every single top, every single short or long-term top. I mean, look at these massive wicks, just gigantic, right? So usually these are not the kind of candles we see at the top. We see more of like a, a much longer wick. And again, I personally just think it's so early on in phase 2 of the bull market. I think we're in phase 2, basically the last phase, the most explosive phase. But yeah, I don't think, again, with a million other metrics showing, I think Bitcoin and specifically altcoins have so much more room to go up. On the daily chart as well, look at these last 3 days. We had some nice selling pressure. Both of these candles ended up, this one closed above the 21-day. This one closed like right on it. But look at these big wicks. Again, showing the pressure, we're seeing these drops intraday, but they're immediately getting bought back up. And look at today's candle so far. Really, getting a daily close, the highest daily close we've ever gotten is about 101,500. If we get a daily close above that, then again, I think that just further green lights, hey, we're about to continue to go up in the short term. I mean, it even looks like the RSI on the daily chart right here even looks like this is about to have another bullish momentum cross on the RSI. If we actually look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin right here, yeah, we obviously have been cooling off a little bit this week, but we're nowhere near, in my opinion, a top in terms of really midterm or long term at all. The DXY, all of this is happening while the DXY looks like it's trying to bounce. It kind of could be a dead cat bounce, however, because it would need to get above, as I just pointed out, actually. You know how I just said about how tops kind of look like this? What kind of candle do you see right here? I mean, again, you can't dumb it down. It's not that simple. It's not like you can look at a chart and as soon as there's a big wick, that means like it's a guaranteed top. That's not what I'm saying. But just very often, if you want to honestly, one of the things I've learned about technical analysis and looking at charts is that the less that you complicate it, the more accurate it is. And if I had 1,000 indicators on this screen and 20 screens around me and I was just going balls to the wall, every 3 seconds I was switching monitors and looking at a different indicator, that's usually not super helpful. And that's usually kind of a waste of time and ends up convoluting and confusing more than helping. And if you just look at a few basic things, again, one of these basic things being noticing wicks like this, I just personally think this could be an indicator that, hey, the DXY is actually topped out for the foreseeable future, and we're going to go lower, below 100 potentially over the next couple of months, especially as the rate cutting cycle continues. And so really, I mean, this video basically turned into a video looking at these top wicks. But yeah, the DXY looks potentially like, it topped out basically at the end of November. I think that's a strong possibility to consider. If it did, then Bitcoin has more room to run. The stock market, let's look at the SPX today. It's green on the day. The weekly as well is kind of sitting right at those previous all-time highs on a weekly. I mean, by the end of this week, we could be at a new all-time high. I mean, things can accelerate extremely fast. And yeah, I mean, looking at the entire crypto market and kind of looking at where we are in terms of when I think we'll top out, again, I think we have, you know, months and months left. Somewhere in this range is I think where we're going to top out. The closer we get to this green line, the closer we are to topping, in my opinion. And get signed up with FEMX or BITUNIX below if you'd like to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. And without any further ado, that's it for me.